boys and girls, and welcome back to your online class of biology. This is your fourth class, and in the last class we had completed the discussion of female reproductive system, and thus our today's topic of discussion is gametogenesis. Students, gametes refers to sex cells. We have already discussed in the earlier classes that sex cells or gametes are the specialized cells which take part in the process of reproduction. The word genesis means to form anything or to synthesize anything. So overall the word gametogenesis means formation of sex cells or formation of gametes. Now you already know that in human beings gametes are of two types. In males it is sperm and in females it is ova. So the term gametogenesis in male is known as spermatogenesis. Here spermatogenesis means formation of sperm. Similarly, in case of females, the process of gametogenesis is known as oogenesis. Oogenesis means formation of ova. So it is quite clear now that in human beings gametogenesis is of two types, spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Today we are going to discuss about the process spermatogenesis. The process of spermatogenesis usually starts at puberty. Now students, you already have gone through the word puberty and you know very well that puberty is that age in human beings when they gain the ability to reproduce. That is, they can actively reproduce from this age. It is the onset of reproduction in the life of human beings. So spermatogenesis always starts at this time period. Now you already know that the gametes are formed from the germ cells. While we were discussing about the reproductive system in males, we have already seen that the testes contains seminiferous tubule where you will find these germ cells. Now these immature germ cells are known as spermatogonia. So spermatogonia are the cells which will give rise to the sperm. So let's go through the process that how the sperms are formed. These spermatogonia divide mitotically to increase in number. Students, you have already studied about the process of cell division in your class 11, that is mitosis and meiosis processes. So in which you have studied that mitosis is an equational division. Now what is the meaning of equational division? Equational division is a type of division where the number of chromosomes remains equal in parents and daughter cells. Now the spermatogonia are usually diploid in number. That is, the number of chromosomes in them is 46. So when they divide mitotically, that is when they undergo the process of mitosis, the daughter cells which are formed are now known as primary spermatocytes. And these primary spermatocytes will also be diploid. 2N here refers to diploid condition. That is, they will also have 46 chromosomes in them. Now some of these primary spermatocytes start the process of meiosis. That is, they divide meiotically, and this meiosis is the first division of the meiosis. You know that meiosis is a complex process and it is done in two parts. The first part is the reductional and the second one is similar to the mitosis, which is known as the equational. Okay. So the primary spermatocytes, they divide meiotically and undergo the first division where they reduce in number. That is, the chromosome reduce in number and form the secondary spermatocytes which are haploid. That is, they have half the number of chromosomes of their parent cells. That is, if the primary spermatocytes will have 46, so the secondary spermatocytes will have 23 chromosomes in them. So after the first meiotic division, the primary spermatocytes will convert into secondary spermatocytes. Now the secondary spermatocytes will complete the process of meiosis and will undergo the second meiotic division. Now the second part of the meiosis is equational. So this secondary spermatocyte will form equal daughter cells which will have, here equal means equal number of chromosomes. So secondary spermatocytes will now form the spermatids which will have equal number of chromosomes, that is haploid chromosomes. Now finally these spermatids differentiate to form the spermatozoons or the spermatozoa. These spermatozoa are the active sperms. You should also know that the process of differentiation of spermatids into spermatozoa is known as spermiogenesis. In simple words, you can also say that the formation of spermatozoa from spermatids is known as spermiogenesis. So this is the overall process by which spermatogonia gives rise to spermatozoa. Let's do a short revision again. The spermatogonia divides mitotically to form primary spermatocytes. Primary spermatocytes undergo the first meiotic division to form haploid secondary spermatocytes, and these secondary spermatocytes then later complete the meiotic division to form spermatids. These spermatids then finally differentiate to form the spermatozoa. So this is the entire process of spermatogenesis. But one thing which you should know that is this entire process is regulated by several hormones. So let's now study the hormonal influence on this process. As I told you that the spermatogenesis process usually starts at puberty, but there is a reason that why it starts at puberty. Actually, during the puberty, the levels of one hormone which is known as GnRH, that is gonadotrophin releasing hormone, increases. During the puberty, this increased level of gonadotrophin releasing hormone in males stimulates the pituitary gland. This pituitary then stimulates the release of two hormones. The first one is the LH hormone, that is luteinizing hormone, and the second one is FSH, that is follicle stimulating hormone. Now this luteinizing hormone acts on the Leydig cells. You have already studied about the Leydig cells which are known as the interstitial cells. So this luteinizing hormone from pituitary acts on the Leydig cells and stimulate the production of the testicular androgens. These testicular androgens then start the process of spermatogenesis. So you can see that actually this gonadotrophin is responsible for the beginning of the process of spermatogenesis. It stimulates the pituitary, pituitary stimulates the production of LH, LH acts on the Leydig, it stimulates the androgens, and finally the process begins. Now what about the FSH, follicle stimulating hormone? These follicle stimulating hormones acts on the Sertoli cells. Now Sertoli cells, as you can remember, are the second type of cells which are found in the testes. These Sertoli cells provide nutrition to the growing germ cells or the sperm cells. So these Sertoli cells then secrete the factors that help in spermatogenesis. That is, they secrete the factors which provides nutrition to the growing sperms. So you can see that how these hormones, these set of hormones regulate the process of spermatogenesis. Now the last, the structure of the sperm. When the sperm is formed, you know that the sperms have to travel a lot. They travel from the male reproductive system to the female reproductive system and reach the oviduct for the process of fertilization. For this reason, they have a specialized structure. As you can see, here I have drawn a picture of sperm. So the sperm mainly contains of three regions. This first region, this capsule-like region, is known as the head. This is the middle phase, and this is the tail region. Now, the capsule head contains of a triangular tip which is known as the acrosome. Now this acrosome is the region which is responsible for making the way through the ova. Actually, this is the region which makes the path into the ova for the process of fertilization. There is an outer plasma membrane covering. Here a nucleus is present which contains chromosomal material. Next we have the middle phase. Students, this is the middle phase and these are the mitochondria. You know that mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell and they provide energy. So these mitochondria are responsible for providing energy to the sperm so that it can swim to the female oviduct. And finally, this is the tail region, and with the help of this tail region, the sperm is able to swim. So you can see that the sperm has a very specialized structure because of which it can swim and also penetrate through the ova. So this was all about the process of spermatogenesis. In the next class, we shall discuss about oogenesis. That's all for today, students. Have a good day. Thank you.